Thunderbolts movie review. There's a review of the movie The Thunderbolts with an asterisk, because I guess the name is, they say New Avengers, and towards the end of the movie it's like a gag, right? Because they're basically the Avengers, but not, you know? Because we're not the Avengers, per se. Avengers are gone, they're done for. But we are a group of superheroes that fight for the common good. And they're all like, I guess, well, one of them, you know, her dad, one of them is a daughter-father duo, right, essentially, and how do you call the father-daughter duo dynamic? The thing with them is dad's like retired, he's got a limousine business, and that's what we see in the trailers constantly, like the scene where he's clicking the switches and like the smoke and music come on and shit. Well, like I guess he forgot what he has in his limousine, but and she's like, who are you driving? Who the fuck are you driving that you have like this is the kind of feature in your car, in your limousine? What the fuck? It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, it's kind of weird, but okay. He finds out, because it subsequently happens, and I guess, and you can see it coming when you see the limousine business. You're like, oh, okay, that's what's gonna happen. He's going to figure out, he's going to be driving her. Watch, that's what's gonna happen. And sure enough, he is. And because she's like a government I think she's a president of the CIA or something. She's not the president of the United States, but she's president of a very high government. I think it was the CIA in this film. But yeah, in this universe, we have superheroes, and we learned that Captain America's universe. Fuck, sorry. I'm getting a little coffee in this, but we learned that Captain America's universe is in this. Is present here, and fucking what's it called? Who else universe? The Fantastic Four people are also like in this universe. Actually, so the thing with Fantastic Four, because they're coming to their Earth, maybe they're from another Earth, and maybe they are from another dimension type ordeal. You know, they like to do this in these movies, as they have multiple dimensions and all this type of mumbo jumbo. But what was I thinking of in my head? I was thinking of something very important, very crucial, very elemental, so to speak, right? It's what was I thinking of? What was I thinking of in my head? What was I going through in this film? Yeah, we find out that, so there's gonna be a part 2 to this, and we know that it's like I said, the Thunderbolts or the Avengers with an Z plus Bob, right? So Bob is like, I guess he lives inside the tower, presumably, you know, he lives there, presumably so, and when we see him in there, he says, hey, I wash the dishes, but yeah, he's not part of, like in the end credit scene, they show like magazine covers, and there's fucking, what else? There's like all these little, it's kind of cool, there's like, yeah, magazine covers, and what do you call, headlines about the new Avengers, this and that. The lady, Valerie or Valentina de Fontaine, whatever her name is pronounced, I think she has like a second surname or something, but she subsequently, you know, she's like a villain, right? She's just doing shady shit on the side, she's covering it up. The guy, Congressman Gary, he said, you know, I'm gonna be out to get her, try to get her. Well, subsequently, you know, she doesn't actually fall out of the she doesn't have a downfall per se. Maybe not in this film, definitely not in this film, but they gotta keep her up for the second film, because Florence Pugh's character, or Pull, I think that's how you say her name, you know, she tells her like, we own you now, you know, and I like that, I'm gonna kill that woman, and the guy's like, no, because like the congressman Bucky whatever his name is, that, I mean, that has to be like his nickname, I don't know what his actual name is per se, and he was in the Captain America movie. Actually, he visits Captain America when he's looking at the sidekick in the hospital in that one scene. But what do you call Captain America Bucky guy? What do you call that? What was I thinking of in my head? Yeah, he's the one that, cause like they're already sort of like a team. You know, she had them all go to the secret government facility of hers, like this vault, basically like a giant vault, to like destroy evidence. Like she gives them both different objectives. Say, hey, go there and do this. Because I guess all these superheroes, well, I guess only the one guy is like a superhero technically, but the other one, how do you call? They are, because she's like a mercenary. Yeah, I mean, he even says it, like, I'm the only guy that's, I guess, like, technically it was actually like a legit superhero at some point, I guess, because he's like an asshole. He's like not a good person. Everyone's like not a good person here except for Bucky. Bucky's good. So when Bucky goes into the black void, he said, oh, okay, I don't have any bad things on my conscience. I'm fine, actually. But everyone else has bad things on their conscience. They're not feeling great. They have the demons. And we know Florence's character, she was like, she's Russian, right? Russian descent. Or not even Russian descent, I guess she's just straight from Russia. She lives in the States for whatever reason. But, you know, she, how do you call? What was I thinking of in my head? She was like a child soldier trained to be the assassin type deal. The other lady, the British lady, she's also like a piece of shit person, apparently, evidently so. I guess she's like an assassin of sorts. And then with the other, what was it? I like that there's actually 4 people fighting in that building. And it was the one, oh my gosh, who was it? It was someone sent to kill Captain America. They kind of could kill him. I don't remember. Yeah, I think there's a scene where she does reveal her face. We get to see what her face looks like. Not sure that has any sort of meaning, but she dies. She actually died. And I think somebody in that moment, in that scene where we're still inside the vault building, someone says, like, is she actually dead? You know, is she actually dead? But evidently, yes, she is actually fucking dead, that bitch. You know, it was the teleporting girl, it's the British girl, because she has these powers to teleport. She teleports right in front of her, boom, pops it right in the head, drops dead. And then, you know, what stops them from killing each other furthermore, after, you know, she's the first casualty, is Bob. That Robert, he goes by Bob. He has a very dark background. His father was abusive to the mother. He probably was abused himself. You know, he's always been alone. He's got, like, he mentions, I guess this movie's like an analogy for like depression, battling mental illness. He had a drug addiction. He basically is just a very broken person, right? And we even see the embodiment of his darkness. And when he's beating up the darkness, the Florence character, she realizes, like, you know, we have to stop him from hurting the character, basically, because what do you call, that's what it wants. That's what the darkness wants. It wants him to beat it down, to give in to the pain, I guess, basically. And so that was a nice little ode, some little difference there, where she's like, no, you can't physically fight him like that. And actually, I think, I don't know if it doesn't necessarily die, because that dark void technically is him, I guess, to some degree. It is a part of him, in a sense. It's, like when she goes and she finds him sitting there on the ground, it's like, who's doing all this? And he says, I guess me. I thought that was kind of cute. Like, who's doing all this stuff that's happening right now? Well, I guess I'm technically doing all of this, actually. But it's not all of me. It's like this dark side of me, this darkness within me. There was a funny scene where, and this movie's kind of funny, it has some nice funny moments in the film, but there's one scene where what's his name, Walker, yeah, and because there's also there's different Captain Americas, apparently. I guess his Captain America is Walker something, whatever, and he's a terrible father. We got a little flashback of him where he's like neglecting his kid, being mean to his wife and shit. So, like, you know, he's just overall, he is actually an asshole, bad person. But, like, I like when they're doing the call-outs of, like, you know, the Florence tells the British lady, like, you're actually, you know, you're horrible. You know that? You're a bad person. You kill people and shit. Like, you are actually bad. And then Florence, he's like, oh, what, it's my turn to get, like, this feel about how bad I am? And he's like, no, you know you're a piece of shit. Everyone knows you're a piece of shit. Like, you don't need reminding. You already know you're not good. Because they just got done. I like when they crash into the building, right? And the lady goes on the intercom. She's like, Jesus Christ, guys. Like, I just put in that drywall. I left the front door open for you, motherfuckers. Like, you didn't have to do that, actually. I was waiting for you. I said, well, they got to show up. Because they knew Bob, they met him, the facility, they gotta show up, they gotta want to see him and shit, and they want to see me, because I'm sure this Gary guy, not Gary guy, but the other guy, this Bucky guy, probably, was convening with them, even on the rundown, the swoop, and all that nonsense. But hey, you know what? That was a pretty funny scene, and then when they had the fight with Bob, he's just too powerful. I like when the one guy gets up from the broken table thing, and he knows he's behind him, so he just rips the whole table with his telekinesis, super strength powers, and then boom. The one guy gets his gun melted off, he gets his arm ripped, his mechanical arm, not the flesh and blood one, thank goodness. Florence gets thrown on the roof, then he catches her, tosses her like a rag doll. Like, basically, and then, when the lady says, like, hey, go ahead and finish them, kill them off, it's a done deal. He says, like, no. Like, they're not a threat to me. I don't need to kill them. Kill them for what? They're not a threat to me. They can't like, you saw I just kick their asses. They can't actually stop me. So he is overpowered. He is a really powerful person. And so I guess maybe it's appropriate so that he said, because he tells them, like, I think he said the Avengers suits, and towards the end of the film, when the guy has the, what's it called? When he's talking about the new Avenger suit, and it's got a Z, he's like, hey, you can't copyright it because it's Avengers with a Z. And he says, like, listen, Bob in the corner, I made you one. He said, Bob in the corner pretending to read over there. I even made you one. You got a fucking suit too. Okay, it's very soft, feels comfortable to wear it. And but he says, like, no, I can't. You remember, like, the darkness that's inside me, I have to keep that controlled. So I can't. But I guess in the second film, maybe that's going to be a challenge for the character. He has to learn how to control and harness his powers of him. Because I'm pretty sure, like, he still has powers. The powers don't go away. And yeah, I guess he suppressed his darkness, but it didn't go away per se. He's learning to manage it, I guess, healthier mental health and all that type of stuff. The secretary lady, she's also still around. So, like, but she knew that she double crossed her, so I don't know how that's gonna kind of work, but okay. But maybe that was like, she's like, you know what, actually, let me not get upset with this, let me use this to my advantage, because then she's just really good at PR. She's really good at PR marketing, this lady, because she really twists it around into her favor. And now, and then Florence, I guess she was thinking, she thought on her feet too. It's like, are we going to make a public scene and attack this lady? Or can we take advantage of the situation as well? Can we also do the same as her and see opportunity here? Because she mentioned to her that she was done being a villain and doing bad stuff. And so she said, like, I want to be like a good guy. I want a good guy stint. And she said, well, now she's got it. She got her good guy stint. But, yeah, I like this movie. This movie was nice. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. The Thunderbolts. It's good. I recommend watching it. It's a typical story. You can kind of get where it's going to go. But it was entertaining enough. For me, I enjoyed it. I'm not too hard to impress, though. But, yeah, I liked it. That concludes my review. Thank you for listening.